Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome to my channel, Learning with Boys. Today I want to talk about my fourth grader and give you a little update on where we're at, winding down this fourth grade school year. Hi, welcome. If you are new here, I am a homeschool mom of 4 boys ages 9 to 19. Been homeschooling for over 13 years, and today I'm going to talk about my fourth grader and where we are at, what we are using, and what we've been reading. So we do use a literature-based program. I enjoy books. Very thankful. All my boys have enjoyed at least me reading to them. I have a couple that reading is not their top favorite thing to do themselves, but they do like to listen to me read or listen to an audio. So the program we are using is Preparing Hearts for His Glory, and there are, let's say, 35 weeks in this book, and we are on 25, like in the middle of 25. So I wanted to show you where we are at in this program. They have reading about history and story time. The reading about history right now has been out of this book. This is like a spine. There's a few spines, and so this is the book that we're reading out of now, Child's History of the World. A lot of this is just like the end of Rome, and talks a little bit about Africa, just going historically down the timeline. And during that time, we are reading a couple of books during story time and independent history study. We also talk a little bit about Islam and how that was spread, and she always gives reference about the Lord and the truth during all that. It's just, this is world history, so we do talk about all those things, but I just wanted to mention all that to you. We finished up, I think last time I did a video we were talking about, Christ had already died and rose again, and Nero had come into scene and that type of thing. So I just wanted to mention that is where we're at. So middle of week 25, so we have 10 more weeks. We're hoping to finish up definitely in May for sure, and it's a 4-day program, so if you do it on Friday, you can get through a little bit quicker. And it's not that we're in a hurry. It's just everything I feel like for him is going smoothly on the history part. So it hasn't been any trouble, and he enjoys the books that we're reading. So one of the books that we started reading was Raiders of the Sea, and he was very excited about this book. It is a good book. We have finished it, and it is in a series. So the ending leaves you hanging. We don't know what happens. So the second book is actually not until Resurrection to Reformation. We may pull it out and let him read it. I know my son, my 9th grader now, I ended up letting him read the whole series. So we'll probably do that because I have the rest of them on my shelf. I just need to pull out book 2. So I think he'll enjoy that. He enjoys these characters. They're easy to really get involved with. So this has been a very good book, very Christ-centered. The children are Christians, so we enjoy this. And we also finished up pretty quickly Leif the Lucky. So we're talking about the Vikings, obviously coming into that time period, but also we'll be leaving that soon. And this is a good book too. So he had some writing work with independent history study, because this is where this book would fall, is under the independent history study. So, and the book we are reading for independent history study now is The Minstrel in the Tower, and it's not a very long book, really. I think I read a chapter and let him read some. It's not, well, I'll just show you. It's not very thick. It's not very hard reading. So, and actually, when I pulled this out, my 9th grader goes, "Oh, I remember that book." So it is a good book, good story. Getting ready for the medieval times. For science, we finished up the Constellation book, and we are now, and I think this is because of the Vikings, we are talking about the coral reef, one small square, and we're not too far into this book. And again, actually I pulled out his pages for his next lesson, and we get these notebook pages off of the Facebook group Heart of Dakota, I think it's Preparing Hearts for His Glory, under the files. And I really like using these. I've used them with all my boys because the files used to be under the Yahoo group that I was part of, so that's how I got a hold of them. But this has been good. I will tell you, a lot of the times, especially for this one, we have looked up some YouTube videos. There was one about the big, I forget what it was called, but it was huge clams. And just looking that up and seeing, it was really neat to see it underwater live. And so this type of thing, it's fun to read about. We can look it up on YouTube now and sort of get a more of a visual. So we do enjoy that. So usually we'll read a lesson, and if so far usually there's something we want to look up with the coral reef. But I wanted to share that with you. And let me just mention, because I feel like this is more of a up-to-date and where we're at, and we are using Matthew C. Heart of Dakota has their own math, and it's Singapore math. When I first discovered Heart of Dakota, we were already using Matthew C, and that has worked great, especially through the elementary and middle school. So we are getting through this, and if you have watched my videos at all, or if this is just the beginning, I will just review that we started several weeks late, probably, I don't remember, 5 or 6, just to review multiplication. This is more of division. It gets all the way up to long division, and that worked great. So now we're getting into division and remainders, and it's slowing down again a bit. Let's see, I always feel like I know, and then I have to double check. There's 30 weeks. We are in week 18, finishing up, but I think I'm going to review a whole nother week for that lesson, because I will tell you, it's just, I don't think it's the curriculum. I just think that's the way his mind works, because we just did every problem on the front of the page, reviewed every day, and then I didn't give him the later sheets because I wanted him to keep reviewing, so I would just write my own problems out. And by the end of the week, he was like, oh, this isn't so hard as long as you understand it. Like, it was finally clicking. For him, I think that's all it takes. It just takes doing it over and over and over, the steps in the process of division. So I think it'll be fine if we review another week, and then we'll build on that. The division will get a little harder, a little bit longer. So just wanted to mention that. Don't know if any of you are thinking about Matthew C. I'll even do a video on it in the future. So wanted to share that with you. Also, I forgot that I did a video on this interactive 3D map history, and we have used that in this past month and a half. It's probably a couple weeks ago. I'm trying to remember when we did it, and it was just the Vikings map. And this is pretty much all American. So, and then Columbus would be next. And I asked him what he wanted to do with the map, and he said, well, I want to keep it because I've never done anything like that before. So I think he liked it, he enjoyed it. So I think we'll try to, as we talk about different things, I'll check to see if there's a map. And I know there's one on Columbus, and let's see what else there is. The French explore North America. I'm not sure how much we talk about detailed things. The Mayflower, I know we'll talk about things like that. So we'll probably pick that up again. And so I think I gave you all the books we're actually reading with Heart of Dakota. I'm just trying to add in some extras here. I'm going to let you know what he is just reading on his own after I tell you that Winston Grammar is going fine. We are probably not as far, well, no, we're on 18, and I think there's only 30. So about the same as math, and really he can finish a lesson. Oh, no, 19. Yes, and he can finish a lesson in a couple days, and he's doing fine with it. So if you're not familiar with it, Winston Grammar program, it's a hands-on program. Let me show you. It has cards. Showing you real quick. I have a whole video on it with pronouns, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, verbs, and it's really a hands-on program. And really, you just use this for 1 year. You could like skip and use it another time down the road if you wanted to as a review year. So so he's using this year, but we'll use something else next year. And the reason I picked this, again, it is something I found years ago, and usually my boys use it between 4th and 6th grade. And that's going well. And some books he has read on his own. I don't know. I did a video. We went to McKay's used bookstore and we picked up one of these American Adventures, War Strikes, and it was something different than he usually reads. He usually likes to read like a biography or, you know, a nonfiction. So this was about Pearl Harbor and some kids and some families. So I think he enjoyed it. He read it all the way through and talked to me about it. So now I don't know if he would have read it if it didn't have something to do with Pearl Harbor, because yes, my 4th grader loves anything that's World War II. And to show you that is true, this is another book that we picked up that day. And he will just sit, you know, if he's waiting for something, this sort of sits in the living room or the dining room table, and he will look through it. And if he's very patient, usually if he's waiting for us to either get ready to leave somewhere or we're trying to get ready to eat, he'll pick this up and read it. So he enjoys that. He also, if you have watched any of my videos, we like the heroes, then and now, whether from history or a Christian biography. He wanted to read Douglas MacArthur because it has to do with the Pacific Ocean during World War II. So, but this is his whole life. I think it starts from when he's younger. It talks about his parents. I think his great-grandfather was in one of the wars. I don't want to say because I can't remember exactly, but he would tell me a lot about this. He enjoyed this book. And I do want to mention he's 4th grade. And I mentioned this in my other video, that it's amazing how much from the beginning of this 4th grade year to now, how much they grow in different areas. And, you know, the math has been a struggle, but the reading, it just keeps improving and improving. So every child is different, but he really said, Mommy, these are one of my favorite types of books. He likes to read. I have a bookshelf full of them, and he keeps coming down, picking out more. He just picked up one on Jim Elliot. I enjoy reading these. Like, there is a few that I've read that I feel like, I don't know if he would grasp everything. And I guess that's okay. But I just was like, well, maybe not that one. But I will let him read it at some point, or I'll use it as a read aloud. So I wanted to mention that. And, of course, just a good old small Usborne book. I'm trying to think, did we get this? I think he found this. I already had this book and I didn't realize it. And it's just, you know, all kinds of ships and sailors of the sea throughout history. So lots of pictures. And he reads about, he'll sit there and look at that for a little while. So I think that's it for my 4th grader. And if you have any comments or questions, please post below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to see something else more in detail, let me know. I'll be glad to do that for you. I appreciate you all watching, and I hope you all have a great week. Thank you so much.